Can we go out?
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Goodbye. Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. Against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a...
An invisible enemy?
Sorry, Doctor. These last...
Do you think this hospital can survive?
We are all...
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet.
Brilliant professionals. Most of them. Doctors...
Most of them? Is there a problem I should...
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated to...
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Goodbye, nurse.
Goodbye.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett. You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
You've nothing to prove, Dr. Tippett, to anybody. And we all praise your experience. Please, have some rest.
I am perfectly fine, and I am not too old for this job. I have...
Goodbye, Doctor.
Good evening.
What's going on between you and...
Pippa's tired.
You
Come.
admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more...
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame? Goodbye, Milton.
Me.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured...
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed.
How
So painful, I'd rather not.
Why?
My mother...
Tell me.
I don't want to...
I have to go.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot. Damn. The pain.
It's locked, all right. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked. Tippett has made an... It's locked, all right.
Michael, valeu aí, Hugo. Tu, mano, vai jogar hoje não? Ninguém entrou hoje. Calma aí, vou colocar os comentários aqui na tela. Vamos ver, né? O Victor não entrou hoje também. É, velho, segunda vez que eu tô jogando ele já. Questione o Gilbert sobre o erro médico. Cadê o cara agora? Não tô olhando. Não pra ele tá aqui.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital.
Depois eu te mostro
I
pra
could
ele.
not let that happen.
You can't...
Look around you, Dr. Reed.
Você pode matar essa mulher, depois você tem que descobrir as pistas. Daí dá mais XP. Quando você mata um cara, ele dá XP pra você evoluir, sabe? E quanto mais pista tu descobre, mais XP dá pra evoluir. Depois tem aqui os escritos, ó. Tem aqui, né, ó. Aqui, ó. Quanto mais cara você matar, vai ficando grave, crítico e hostil. Hostil fica um montão de bicho por aí. Você pode matar tudo isso daqui, ó.
Do you,
Perhaps you...
you mean...
Good...
Eu vou lá evoluir pra você ver. É, ele é detetive, médico e vampiro. Aqui tu evolui, ó. Botei aqui os bagulho, ó. Só vou... Deixa eu ver aqui. ...21 GB. Eu amo jogo de vampiro, velho. Por isso que eu gosto de jogar tanto ele assim. Dano. Vou mostrar a luta pra você ver depois. vai evoluir. Grandes eventos toda noite e as consequências de suas ações podem mudar impactar os lados. Quanto mais você matar, mais a turma fica descrito, mais o descrito fica fugido. Se o estado de saúde de um distrito ficar abaixo do limite crítico, a situação fica caótica. Cabe você decidir o destino. E cada escolha que você faz impacta no jogo, na história, sabe?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Aqui tem as habilidades dele, ó. Deixar o nego vai matar. Ele aqui é nível alto, não dá pra matar não. Ele tem que evoluir. Tem que ir lá falar com o cara agora. Fazer missãozinha secundária pra evoluir. Esse final eu tô deixando pra depois. Depois você pode conhecer sua vítima, ó. Pode conhecer ela, ó. Pra aumentar o bagulho de XP ali, ó. Pode ir falando. Pelo personagem que você encontrar, esse aí pode falar com ela. É tudo liberado. Tem que encontrar o... Cadê o cara? Aqui.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett. Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor.
He was my patient. He died.
What was the nature?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Why not stop practice?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit.
Who was this patient?
I don't know.
Depois tem as falas aí.
I will cover for you, Dr. Tippett, by keeping what happened to Mr. Connor to myself.
I don't know what to say, actually. I can't exactly force you to become my accomplice.
You didn't force me. This is my decision to make. I believe you're still of use to the hospital, considering the situation.
Then I can make you this promise. As soon as the epidemic is eradicated, I will resign.
Tá, beleza. Valeu.
What will you do after...
I always fancied visiting Cyprus. So...
Goodbye, Doctor.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The
more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say. I wish I could share...
I cannot express...
It may seem strange.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long...
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan.
Please.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactor.
A spokesman or politician is what...
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize...
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first...
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
What are your expectations? Please.
What are your
As the newly
expectations?
appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten?
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with...
As immortal tradition doth dictate, Ulfang.
Please continue. Every detail...
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, your ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved...
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're...
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy...
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than...
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes, just waiting for me to...
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigan...
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof...
This is your business.
Thank you for your... The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Galera, já volto.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if the nurse finds some happiness where she can?
What can you tell me about the strange man?
Let me guess.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't...
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital...
Maybe you're right. But at the moment...
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the rib...
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary.
And what about Milton Hooks?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more pity.
Goodbye, Nurse. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal back?
The people who work here all come...
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses?
I've never heard of such a thing.
Goodbye.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here! I need to get out!
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe now. Do you think you can reach the street by yourself?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Bora!
What sort of creature is this? Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but... some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her. This is an impressive knife. There's a name engraved on the metal. Clay. What kind of man puts his name on a knife?
Leech spotted! Watch out! Oh, Christ!
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton Blight.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survive the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. What can you tell me about you?
I'm Oswald's best friend.
This is a danger.
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital.
What can you tell me about...
His name is Oswald Thatcher.
Where was your friend?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital.
I have all the...
Thank you, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
How is your...
This is a shitty...
What's wrong with the...
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart...
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Cro...
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smell...
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here.
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that...
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. It still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
What did he want? Revenge?
I reached...
You're a monster, Mr. Cox.
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed.
How long do you think...
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc.
If blood and violence is all you understand...
I ain't afraid of death. I don't...
And who are you?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would knock.
I have found the gift.
In that case, you'll be properly rewarded, Doc. Clay Cox is a man of his word.
I hope that won't make me an accomplice to your future crimes.
Who knows what I might do now I feel invincible again.
I'll leave you for... You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act.
I'll...
Best stay back, sir. Stay away! Over there! There's one of them birds! He's dead!
We have to stop it!
Shit, that leech is fast!
We have to stop it!
desvia. Aqui.
It's locked. Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Trescu fellow.
What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to
Ai,
live,
ai.
and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
A gun? Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find...
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk
Goodbye,
arsehole
young
here in
man.
the street.
Liga, enxaqueca.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually...
Não sei, velho, se a turma entrar, eu jogo, velho.
Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research.
Vou jogar o comentário aqui de novo, calma aí.
Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Se a turma entrar agora, eu jogo, velho.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Vê se o Victor se entra, mano.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Se não tu Victor for lá pra entrar, se ele não quiser entrar, joga nem trem mesmo.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what...
Ele foi que vai entrar depois de fazer isso?
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems.
Oi.
As long as you have the money.
Deixa eu fazer. Vai ser a turma aqui fazer um remédio pra eles. Então joga amanhã, pô.
We can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane?
Really?
She's a colleague of mine. Supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me for opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Goodbye, Mr. Peters.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Chantageou colocar o Brit Lewis em uma situação financeira difícil.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed...
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Violence is increasing in the bar.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever. Madness. Something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice.
Have you heard of a nurse?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then?
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Goodbye for... Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me, then? Okay, then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
My name is Harry.
It's locked.
consegue encontrar um emprego decente por causa dos seus antecedentes criminais.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital?
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine...
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not...
Speaking of which... What can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone, young man.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities. But I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
Goodbye, young man.
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
You again?
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now. People won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Since the criminal nature of...
No one will ever take my son away from me.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side.
How did you become the local...
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards.
A job?
I got enlisted...
Most people don't become...
I don't care what you think.
I'm not sure...
Oh, do you...
Goodbye. Good.
Fancy buying something?
You know? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he?
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a
And no one has ever...
Nobody would...
What can you...
Carlos?
Taking out your anger on...
We've all had some rough times, ain't we?
What do you know of...
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, just...
Good...
Já volto, galera. Deixa eu ver aqui. Já fazer um de fadiga, enxaqueca e 2 de fadiga e enxaqueca. Enxaqueca. Vampyr. Dar um remédio pra turma e terminar a live. Se encher, né?
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So?
I'm not bothered.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used...
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him?
Have you tried speaking?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he's...
But you are not responsible for your...
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety.
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this.
Goodbye.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Don't be...
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
All right then, but be...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy?
I don't know her, but I know her name.
You seem to...
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel.
Christina...
I don't like...
Considering...
If it is going to happen, it will happen.
You...
And you...
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't...
I have no interest in your work.
Short story. The...
I always thought I was the master of my own fate.
You know, this money is not only for me.
Do you need any...
Forgive me.
Goodbye, miss.
Goodbye, my friend. Meu último remédio é dormir. Eu termino, gente. deixando na live, galera. Mandando like, se inscrever no canal. Perda dele.
How odd.
I'm not your...
Do you need...
Please. Feeling top.
There you go.
Very funny.
Good.
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lappy.
Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Já dá pra levantar um pouco. Estável. Deixa ela dormir. Pra ver como é que fica.